G'day guys, Dean here from Blog of the Blood God, and today I have a battle report for you featuring Adam Camilleri from Art of War Down Under. Now, Adam and I are good friends, we go way back, so we took this as an opportunity to have a bit more of a casual game and play around with some different ideas. So the list that I ran was a Red Corsairs list. This is part of my current masterclass series on the Red Corsairs. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the Red Corsairs, in this battle report I used the Biker unit that I did a video on, specifically talking about this insane biker combo. So if you want to learn a little bit more about this unit and how it works in different kinds of scenarios, check that video out, because obviously I use it in this battle report, but I only use it in one way. This is a unit that can be used in several different ways, really, really powerful and really, really versatile. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that unit, check out that video. And I also took this exact list from this battle report to an RTT and played 3 games against 3 different opponents. So if you watch this battle report and you really like the list and you want to see how it fares into various different opponents, check out that video. I'll put links in the description below, but in that video you can see how it goes against a variety of different opponents. So there's plenty of content on the Red Corsairs. And then after this battle report comes out and after I'm done editing, I'm going to be doing a Red Corsairs masterclass where I'm going to bring it all together. I'm going to be talking about all of the combos, I'm going to be talking about all of my experiences, and I'm going to be talking about all of the various options, all of the learnings that I've had, and I'll put it all together in a masterclass for the Red Corsairs. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump straight into the battle report. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Log for the Blood God.
G'day guys, I'm Dean from Blog for the Blood God.
My name's Adam Camilleri. You may not have heard of me though.
May not have. Yeah. I pulled him out from under a rock. No one's ever heard of this bloke before.
No. Never been anywhere, never done anything.
It's not like he has a world-class podcast down under 40k.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Dean for giving me this first chance at a little bit of exposure. It really means a lot to me.
So we've got a nice spicy battle report for you guys today. We were actually having a chat the other day about how I was the #1 ranked Chaos Space Marine player on the ITC.
And I just had to stop him right there. I'm like, well, sir, I am in fact the #1 ranked Chaos player in the ITC, being #1 with the lovely Dark Angels you see before you.
So we've got a bit of a heretic on heretic battle for you, because the only way to solve this sort of debate is obviously in front of a camera, in front of you guys.
Exactly right, exactly right.
So yeah, we're going to have a bit of a biker gang style showdown. So
well, you set the stage, didn't you? You're like, all right, what do we want to play? And it's like, well, I've got this meme-ish, Red Corsairs list I want to run. I'm like, well, mate, I got some Ravenwing. Let's slap it together. See whose bikes will reign supreme this day.
So we've got Red Corsairs, Ravenwing, biker showdown. It's a bit of a gang warfare for you guys. We're going to jump straight into our lists and shit, and we'll take it from there.
See you then. So, telling you about my list for today, I've got 2 detachments, starting with a big old donut on the CP train. So literally, I spent all my CP. I have an Outrider detachment, which is a Ravenwing Outrider. So I'm not spending any CP on this one. I'm getting the full refund because my Warlord's in here. You'll see coming up on screen, I've got Samael as the HQ there. He's not the Warlord because his Warlord trait is not that good. But yeah, Sammy on his bike, because I can't take him on the speeder anymore, otherwise I would. Lovely conversion. Hopefully you guys are staring at it right now, enjoying the beauty, the grandeur. Then we have a Ravenwing Apothecary. That is the Warlord. He's got Selfless Healer, no relic, but he does have a grenade launcher in the front, should I need to do the stasis grenade stratagem. Not that I have any CP for such a thing. Then we have, in the fast attack slots, we have 3x3 bikes with chainswords. They're just 3 bikers, and because I'm in the Ravenwing detachment, they are OPSEC, because there's only Ravenwing units in this. And then to round out the last bit of that one, we have 10 Black Knights. I'll say that again, 10, the full package of Black Knights, which I can combat squad, but I'm not going to, because we're here for the means, people. We're here to see whose biker cuisine will reign supreme. Jumping down into my Deathwing Vanguard detachment, I'm paying 3 CP for this. It has got a single HQ choice, which is a Phobos Librarian. I've kitted him out pretty extensively. He's kind of, I guess, this is a meme list, but I am testing out one piece, and that's pretty much the tech piece I'm testing out. It is a Phobos Librarian who's been upgraded to be Master of the Librarian, so he knows an extra power, denies an extra power, so cast 2, no 3, deny 2. He's got Psychic Mastery for his Warlord trait, so he's +1 to cast as well. And then in addition to that, he's got the Armor Indomitus, so he has a 2+ armor save and a once per game 3+ invuln. What is cool about that is I've taken this guy pretty much as a anti-shooting choice. So should I play against, well, the new Votan possibly, or Tau, he'll have a standing 0-up save in cover. with Armor of Contempt and a 1-off 3+ invulnerable save, and he's Deathwing as well, so he's 4 ups to wound. So it becomes really hard to dislodge, and I just wanted to be able to play another secondary. So here's the experiment to see if I can start playing some more of the Psychic secondaries. Rest of that detachment, 2x2 Deathwing command squads. So two units of 2. Each one has 1 Thunderhammer and Storm Shield guy, 1 Lightning Claws guy. Each one also has a what are they called? The little dudes. They have a single deny, essentially. I do apologize, I'm the Deathwing player, and I've forgotten what they are. Watcher in the Dark. Each one has a Watcher in the Dark, so they get a single deny per. And if they're denying against a Chaos Psyker, I get to re-roll that as well. So it's actually going to come up here, slap that on because I had some points left at the end. Because this isn't a entirely Deathwing unit, none of the stuff's getting Obsec. Not that it would, I didn't take any regular Terminators, but the rest of the lead slots, we have 6 Blade Guard, which I haven't taken in a very long time, and a full unit of 6, so I can combat squad them as well if I want. They will be going in the Impulsor you see before you. First time in like so long I've run Blade Guard, and I mean so long since I ran an Impulsor, so great excuse Dean's given me. That Impulsor has got the extra stubber and got the stubber array essentially on the top, so it's got a bunch of strength 4 rend guns. And then around out the rest of that, we've got 3 Eliminators, did give them the Las Fusils, except for the Sarge, who's got the Instigator to do some moving shenanigans, and 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts with all the trimmings, that being the Icarus, the Underslung Gatling, the Plasma Exterminator, and of course I've got Storm Bolters in the chest. That is my army for today's game, and I'm really keen. Let's see how it goes. Talk to you soon.
Alrighty guys, let's talk Red Corsairs. So for those of you who watched my Red Corsairs biker tactics video, I'm basically going to take all of the stuff we talked about there and put it into practice in this battle report. So let's run through the list. So we've got a Master of Possessions, he's got the Liber Hereticus, and for Psychic Powers he has Warp Marked, which is going to give me +1 to wound on all my Demonkin and Demon Engines, which we'll go through in a moment. And he also has Mutated Invigoration for that crucial +1 toughness on those bikes, making him real chunky, real hard to kill. He's then supported by a Dark Apostle, who's Mark of Nurgle, and has the Illusory Supplication for that Trans Hitman. That's the standard that everybody loves. But his second prayer, being Mark of Nurgle, is the one that essentially allows him to give a further +1 toughness to a friendly Nurgle unit. So I'm going to be able to get those bikes up to toughness 7. Which is going to make him a very challenging unit for Adam to dislodge. The third HQ choice we have is a Khorne-marked Lord Discordant with Zal the Wrathful. So he's going to be my beat stick, he's going to be my big problem solver, he's going to hopefully take out some dreadnoughts and those sorts of things, and also every one of his attacks is just going to kill bikes. So he's really, really powerful, should do a lot of damage. Really excited to see him get stuck in. Then for our troops choices, we have 2 units of 10 cultists. They're going to be raising banners, they're going to be screening out backfield, they're going to be doing all those sorts of standard things that cultists do. And then we have 2 units of 5 legionnaires. Now the legionnaires have a rhino, and basically the idea there is they're going to be able to disembark, advance, and charge. And then because they're Red Corsairs, they're going to count as 2 models for the purposes of holding objectives. So that's going to allow me to put decent chunks of objectives secured out in various places throughout the game and hopefully dominate that primary game. Then we go into our fast attack choices. So we've got 2 units of 9 Chaos Bikers. One of them is Mark of Nurgle with an icon, bolters on everybody, 3 melter guns, and that unit's basically going to be my anvil. They're going to go really tough, they're going to be really hard to kill, and they have the Black Rune of Damnation, meaning that they're going to be -1 to be wounded. So that's going to make this unit a real tough, hard, brick of a unit. Then we have the other version of the Red Corsairs Bikers. So I wasn't sure which one of these 2 versions I liked more, so I thought, well, why not fucking chuck them both in? And the Mark of Khorne ones, they've got an icon as well, so all those chainswords go to AP2, really good in the Armor of Contempt meta. And then there's also the Black Mace, which is going to do really good because it's flat 3 damage, so he's going to be smacking bikes like it's nobody's business. And also, if he does fall into something that was, lower wounds, the damage spills over. So it's a really versatile unit that does well into chunky things and well into hordes. Then we've got, rounding the list out, we've got 2 Mauler Fiends. Now this was actually came at the request of one of my Patreon supporters. He really wanted to sort of have an idea of ways that you can wield Mauler Fiends and ways that you can get a little bit more out of them. So I'm hoping that I can showcase what you can do with a Mauler Fiend in this battle report with the Red Corsairs. That's the plan. So yeah, if you want to see more units included in battle reports or included in tactics videos, head over to the Patreon because I take a lot of those requests on board. And yeah, let's do some deployment stuff, let's talk about the mission, and then we'll get stuck straight into the game. Alrighty guys, the mission we are playing today is called the Scouring. So the mission special rule for this one is Auspex Scan. One unit from your army can perform this action at the end of your movement phase if it's within range of an objective marker that has not been scanned by a unit from your army. A unit cannot start this action while there are enemy units, excluding aircraft units, within range of the same objective marker. This action is completed at the start of your next command phase, or at the end of the battle, whichever comes first, provided the unit performing is still within range of the objective marker. If completed, that objective marker is said to have been scanned by your army. There's also the Battleforged CP bonus. In this mission, at the start of each player's command phase, both players gain 1 CP, not just the player whose turn it is. These CP are Battleforged CP bonuses, and so the limit of gaining a maximum of 1 CP per turn does not apply to the CP gained as a result of this rule. For primary objectives, it is a take and hold. So at the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores 4 victory points if one of the following conditions are met. They control 1 or more objective markers, they control 2 or more objective markers, or they control more objective markers than their opponent controls. The primary objective cannot be scored in the first battle round, and in the 5th battle round, the player who has the second turn does not score any points in their command phase, but instead they score them at the end of the turn. Then we have the Strategic Scan Endgame objective, which is at the end of the battle, the player scores 3 victory points for each objective marker on the battlefield that has been scanned by their army. Now, as you can see, we have a hammer and anvil style deployment where both players get 18 inches in from the table edge or 12 inches away from the center, whichever way you want to measure it. And then we have 5 objective markers distributed throughout no man's land. You can see that we've got one objective that is completely obscured by a nice big ruin in each corner, and then 3 objectives running down the guts that are in the open. So there's going to be a bit of a slog in the middle there, big bike-on-bike combat, so it should be interesting. We're going to jump into our secondary objectives, and we'll be right back.
Hello again, you saucy spicy babes, you. We're back talking about secondaries. It is the Scouring. This is going to make for it's going to be hot and heavy. We're going to mash in the middle with our good biker boys.
It's going to be interesting.
See what happens.
So run us through yours. What do you pick for secondary?
Secondary-wise, I've taken Codex Warfare, simply because I didn't have a better option, and I'm actually quite practiced in doing well with Codex Warfare, but this isn't the army to do it, because usually Codex Warfare is the one where you score points based on which doctrine you're in. So killing things while you're in heavy doctrine, you get 2 points, but you only got 1 chance to do it because only 1 turn of devastated doctrine, and then 1 point per kill in tactical doctrine with rapid fire and assault weapons, and then 1 point per kill with pistol and melee weapons in assault doctrine. So I'm hoping for around 7 to 8 points on it if I can be not a scrub and do a good job on it. In addition, I've taken behind enemy lines because we have to be close to each other to disrupt each other's primary. Figure I'm going to be over here anyway, so might as well jump in this deployment zone, try and get a couple of points during the journey. But it's going to be hard to get around stuff, so it might not be until endgame that I start getting possibly a 4 or even just reliable 2s on it. Lastly, I've taken no prisoners. The 2 big units of bikes from Dean really sealed the deal. If I can't kill those, I probably can't win the game, and it's what, 3 points each?
Yeah, more or less, yep.
So it might as well do that because it's keyed into what I need to do to even contend this mission. I do like the hammer and anvil. It's going to allow me to be outside charge range turn 1, whereas we played Dawn of War. Yeah. There's not much I can do to get me. So this is a little bit in my favour that way because I feel like I've got the better gun.
Yep, I'd say you win the shootout for sure.
So that's in my favour, but I'm going to get no points by being outside your charge range. Yeah. There's no objectives there, so that's going to be interesting. What did you take for secondary, brother? So
I took the Long War, which is, you've seen it in almost every battle report that I've done. In fact, I think I have taken it in every single one, which is basically if I kill one of his units that was within range of an objective marker, I get a point. And if I take an objective marker that he held at the start of my turn, I gain 2 points up to a maximum of 3. So that's a really easy, simple, it's what you want to do when you're playing the game anyway. My goal is to be killing you off objectives. Yep. My goal is to be taking objectives off you. So it's one of those ones where you don't have to put a massive amount of thought into it. You just sort of play the game and then you look at it and you're like, oh cool, I got 8 or 9 points.
It's a really good one for this mission as well. We're going to be close trading objectives. Exactly. I would have taken it, but with you, if you weren't Red Corsairs, I was going to take Shock Assault. Yeah. But because you count as 2, it's not reliable that I take ones off you, whereas it's pretty reliable you take them off.
And the Red Corsairs, the sheer speed of this army means that getting those long war points is quite easy because I just be like, oh, you're on an objective, 30 inches away from me. Well, guess what? I'm also on that objective. And because I count as multiple models, I just take it out underneath you. So that's Long War. The next one that I've taken is Banners, old trusty, old faithful. Basically, it gives the cultists something to do.
Very brave. Very brave on the scouring.
It is brave on the scouring, but I'm pretty confident that what's going to happen is we're going to end up with a big slog in the middle. So even if I just raise 2 banners and hold them all game, I'm actually pretty happy with that. And also because I've got, you know, those ability to get multiple obsec models, I can look at trying to, you know, defend my banners easier and potentially raise some banners in the middle towards the end of the game. So I think banners is going to be decent. I'll probably score maybe 10 to 12 on that, I'm thinking. And then for my third, what did I take for my third one again? Fuck, I've forgotten already. It was banners, it was long war, and it was behind enemy lines, of course. Same logic. We've got nice big deployment zones, so it's going to be quite easy to get models inside of it. And also, my army's so freaking fast with the advance and charge, I should be able to use that with pile-ins and all of that sort of stuff to hopefully get multiple units in Adam's deployment zone early in the game and sort of try to, you know,
you're
build it
to
up
do it
from
early.
there.
I'm hoping to do it late.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
So yeah, it should be a good game. We're going to deploy now, and then we'll do the roll off for turn 1, and we'll see how we go.
And we are back with the, I don't know, the Fallen, the Unforgiven deployment. I know I'm playing the bad guy here because it's chaos on chaos, and like, I guess I'm the Imperium, so I have a little bit of a modifier on my badness. But here's my deployment. I deployed to go to be happy to go second, but I deployed to not be absolutely cooked if I happened to go first and be totally out of position. Because I could have just deployed everything back, but then like Dean just stays back. I get a 0 on primary, he gets a 15 at the end of the game, and we just have a non-event. So I deployed some stuff up. I got some Terminators here being funny, blocking off this this ingress, this lane from Bikers, whilst also being in cover. Got my Phobos Libby and my Eliminators at the back here blocking off that lane. So bikes there being nice and safe. Across here, I have 3 bikes here. You're not going to be able to see them, just see the tail end there, and then a Redemptor at the back. I'm trying to keep the guys I need to do heavy lifting, I'm trying to keep them safe, that being the 2 Redemptors and the Black Knights. Everything else is, in this mission, is kind of, well, against Dean is going to have to, I don't want to just trade. I can trade everything else. These things need to get 2-for-1s, otherwise I'm losing because Dean's got more stuff than me. Over here we have the Black Knights, we got Sammy, we've got the Apothecary. Apothecary's in range of these 2 Terminators who are strung out, so I have something to put on the objectives turn 1. 3 more bikes. Impulsor, who has all the Blade Guard in. I did not combat squad them because I thought it was weak, it was weakness. And I didn't combat squad the Black Knights either. Just got Sammy and a full conglomerate here. Should be an interesting game. I'm worried about Dean going first and just putting so much pressure on me and my primary that I can't get a win. Because I've seen how he deploys and it's going down. It's going down. All right, catch you soon.
Alrighty guys, let's talk about the Red Corsairs, the real heretics. Let's talk about their deployment. So we've got, I've deployed hyper aggressively, and I've gone for a threat saturation philosophy, hoping that if I do get that first turn, I'll be able to, you know, charge in and do massive damage. However, if Adam gets the first turn, he's going to have a hard time selecting which units he wants to kill. He probably isn't going to have the capacity to kill them all, and that means that whatever's left of mine will be positioned in order to retaliate strongly. So we've got, starting over here, we've got a Mauler Fiend. He's ready to come up the flank and go hunt down some Dreadnoughts. We've got the unit of Khorne Bikers with the Black Mace ready to go in and kill bikes or Terminators or something on this side, supported by some Possessed to sort of position up in the middle there and threaten those turn 2 charges. Cultists at the back ready to raise a banner. Then we've got the Mark and Nurgle Bikers up here. They're ready to go into the midfield and just be tough as fuck. Lord Discordant, he's there ready to buff up those Mauler Fiends, support the flank and sort of get stuck in the mid game. Mauler Fiend ready to do the same. We've got the Master of Possessions and the Dark Apostle in that ruin there, out of line of sight, ready to sort of cast their buffs on the nearby units. We've got the Rhino with the Legionnaires inside, that's ready to come up and sort of support the objective game and try to, you know, control that primary by controlling that central objective for the majority of the game if possible. Then we've got more Possessed and more Cultists. So it's kind of a bit of a mirrored symmetrical deployment. I have a little bit OCD in that way. I like to have things as, you know, symmetrical as possible, but we have gone a little bit heavier on this side, hoping that I can sort of sweep around and push Adam into a corner. So yeah, should be good. We're going to roll to see who goes first. Fingers crossed, and yeah, we'll be right back.
What are we not here to do, Dean?
We're not here to fuck spiders.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. We've got an OG Advic dice here. Long may they reign, Adeptus Victorum. We're just gonna clock this 6 again. Yeah, nice. That sucks.
I can beat it too. No, what?
No, you can't beat it.
You wait. This is where I roll a 1.
No.
So we're going for the old blog for the Blood God dice.
It's gonna
old
fail.
Faithful.
So
5.
God damn it.
All right. So turn 1 to the Red Corsairs.
Boop.
Alrighty guys, there we have my first turn's movement, psychic, and shooting phase, or lack thereof. So movement wise, basically as you can see, the 2 biker units have moved up. We've got a couple of charges planned off here. And then the Morphines have moved up to support. The Lord Discordant's coming around the flank. We've got the Possessed moving up to support. We've got the Rhinos moved up, ready to launch out those OBSEC models. And our characters chilling at the back there, nice and safe, casting their buffs. We then moved into the psychic phase. We put, in the command phase, sorry, we put Trans Hitman on these guys. I was going to go for the +1 toughness, but the difference between toughness 6 and toughness 7 actually isn't particularly relevant in this matchup based on Adam's offensive profiles.
Shooting patterns and stuff like that's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Mine's all either strength 5 or it's strength 7 or better.
Yeah, so there will be some matchups where that's going to be absolutely busted, but not so much this one. So we've gone with the Trans Hitman because that will be very good into the Chapter Master stuff, giving them that extra durability. And then in the psychic phase, we put Mutated Invigoration on them and buffed them up to that toughness 6, because that's the sort of break point that I was heading for. The other way that I could have done that is I could have gone with the +1 toughness from the Litany and then put +1 strength on them with the Warp Marked. Not the Warp Marked, the other one, Mutated Invigoration. So there's a little bit of interplay with the way that you do those sorts of things, which is really good. It gives you a lot of versatility. But yeah, so that sort of rounds that out. So we're going to basically do some charges now, see if we can get some spicy combats off. And yeah, we'll hit you guys back in a moment. Alrighty guys, we've just finished my charge phase and we've got this big unit of red bikers going into these Terminators and going into these bikers. And we've decided we're going to roll it out on camera for you. Alrighty guys, we've got 4 attacks from our Black Mace Biker Sergeant, and then 6 attacks from the other 2 bikers that are going into the Ravenwing Bikers. We are hitting you on 3+. No rerolls, so unfortunately 2 of the Black Mace attacks missed, which is unfortunate. And then we are going in with strength 4 on most of this, so most of us hitting you on 5, but the Black Mace will be winning you on 3s. Oh, yuck.
Black Mace, is it worth it? You tell me.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, cool, 1 wound from a Black.
Never, yeah.
So it is AP2 from the Icon of Corn. So we did 1 wound there. That's trash.
Ace.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dudes. So let's see if we can redeem ourselves a little bit here.
So these are the into the Terminators?
Yep, 6 Chainsword guys from Terminators. Okay, we rolled decent with the hits.
Forced to wound now instead of 5.
Forced to wound, yep. Ugh. I should have put Veterans of the Long War on for sure.
I will have 3 ups here, yeah, because...
Yep, AP2 goes to AP1, yep.
Failed 2, so 1 guy's taken 2 wounds, and 1 of the blacks took a wound.
Oh wow, that was
never heard of you, brother.
That was
Red Corsair what?
Yeah, that was disgusting. Alrighty guys, as you saw, absolutely abysmal fight phase from the Red Corsairs. The Black Mace did nothing, which was really disappointing. That being said, this turn wasn't necessarily about doing damage. This was about blocking in and sort of controlling the table. So these bikers have moved over here and they've basically pinned it so that the bikers on this side, this Dreadnought, the Terminators, none of this stuff is going to be able to effectively move up into the midfield. So I'm sort of trying to pin him down there. And then these lads use the Red Corsairs stratagem to make a move after the fight. So basically I've swung around here, so we're blocking off that path from the bikes, and we've swung around here to block off the Dreadnought, block off the Repulsor, block off those characters, and basically try to keep Adam pinned down in that corner. And I am currently controlling a whole bunch of objectives. So yeah, really strong sort of position, but we'll see. Adam's about to clap me back, and we'll see where those Black Knights do much damage.
So in totality for the damage, this Terminator took 2 wounds, a bike over there took 2 wounds, and a Terminator over there took 1 wound.
Yes.
And then I killed one of those.
And we killed... Yeah. So, yeah, not a massive turn, but it's a massive turn in terms of movement. So
I'm very gummed up. See you soon.
All right, let's see what happens.
And my turn 1 movement phase is complete. Dean has pretty much put me in a position where there is no point trying to get any primary points. So literally I still have left my deployment zone. There was a chance for me to jump on this objective with my movement, but then I'm just getting eaten by units. The pressure of this list is quite oppressive, but as we saw, the damage output, maybe not there. So I've fallen back from combat, I passed my morale test with my Deathwing to fall back from combat, moved up the Libby to possibly put Fight Slicer there, should that go for a commitment. And also I can get a smite off into these guys and then maybe charge. I've scooted over, given Chapter Master to the Black Knights as, you know, what they're here for. They've all scooted around, so I'm going through here. The +3 move from Devastator Doctrine is really nice. We're going to shoot them into here and then maybe try and pick them up with some of the heavy weapons to try and get some points. I have moved my 2 Dreadnoughts. This one has just touched here and they can both draw line of sight with Sammy and the Las Fusils into this Mauler Fiend. And if I can get that down for a couple of points on Codex Warfare, be a very happy boy. Everything else is kind of scooted around. Going to get some couple of charges off here. I'm not going to waste too many shots into these guys. They are just far too tough, and they're just far too deep. So I'm just going to try and use the charge phase, tune some bikes, Sammy, Dreadnought, and some extra little shots here and there. We'll see if I can pick up just another 1 or 2, just so if he does do this again, he can't do the whole frontage. Like he can't block off my whole deployment zone, which is kind of the issue now. The unit's just so big, I can't get around it. So I need to reduce it a little bit, but I want the shooting to go where it matters. This unit needs to die, this Biker unit. It's just, despite it doing a bad job last turn, the damage potential is very high versus me. So I need it gone, and we're going to go about that right now. See you soon. All right, I'm going to try a version. I've just gotten off Mindworm, so the Mauler Fiend that I'm not shooting is taking a mortal wound, which doesn't matter. You're going to heal, but its fight's lasted. This is a version. I'm going to put -1 attack and -1 to hit onto the Khorne unit of Bikers. It goes off on a 5 because I got +1 to cast. Ha!
Oh, perils. Do you want to CP reroll that shit, or do you want to cough it?
I'm going to CP it. That's an 11.
Okay, cool.
And you're going to spend a CP, I think?
I'm going to spend one of my precious command points, and I'm going to go for a Deny the Witch on a 4+ from my Khorne Bikers. Oh, and it doesn't go off.
Suck it, Dean.
Unfortunate.
Because I had to spend that freaking CP on the perils, I haven't got 2 CP to go for Weapons of the Dark Age now. So this is just going to be overcharging Black Knights going into the Khorne unit of Bikers. It's going to be hitting on 3s, re-rolling because I gave him Samael, and then wounding on 3s with no re-rolls. I could have spent my last CP on the Redemptor for the Lieutenant Aura, but didn't want to do it because I thought I was going to have it for friggin' Weapons of the Dark Age. Here we go. 2 at a time, 20 shots. Let's do it. 1s, dead boys. We'll see how greedy I want to get. Strong start, ladies and gentlemen. Strong start. He's not dead. We got to hit.
Because you get re-rolls.
Got re-rolls, yeah. Full greed. Let's do it. Still not dead. What is up with these dice, brother?
They don't like you very much, do they?
I'm going to not roll that one. I'm being selective with my 1s that are getting re-rolled. I usually only re-roll 1s with these guys because they're just so expensive, and they usually have enough shots to do most of the jobs I want to get done. Yeah, that's fine. So got 3 left. Good stuff. Another double 1s. Does he die? Nope, not dead.
Wow.
We're living on Dream Street. Nobody's dead yet. I'd love to see it. And these will wound on 3s at range 3, which will take you to a 5+ because of Armor Contempt. And there we go, my brother. Feel free to roll those if you like.
I shall.
And yeah, every 2 fails. Well, so they've got 1 guy with a wound left.
These being 5+ saves. Oh, wow, what the fuck? Okay, so that kills the wounded guy?
Yep, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more gone. So 5 models
5 casualties.
removed. It's a good time. We're back after the shooting and charge phase. So shooting phase, you guys saw it. Killed him down to 3 left with the Black Knights with the beautiful Sammy rerolls. Then this Redemptor finished off the squad for 2 points on Codex Warfare. Then through some actual legitimate luck and realizing that none of my small arms are going to do anything to this squad. It's all going to win on 6s. I actually shot it all at this Mauler Fiend and got it down to 6 left. And then this Redemptor picked it up. Just 3 hits, 3 wounds with the So I got 3 hits and 3 wounds on the plasma cannon. Failed 2 saves. Did the last 6 wounds.
It's quite unfortunate. I was planning to save a CP so that I would get the neg1 damage.
Yeah.
But I needed to use it to try to deny your psychic power, which in retrospect didn't fucking matter.
Didn't matter.
You're just dead anyway. So we've all made our mistakes.
Yep. And now charge phase, I've just dogpiled everything onto this. I realized I've made a mistake here. Dean's just with his piling is going to move in and tap this impulsor. I'm going to live and die by the sword. I made a mistake there. I should have kept him a little bit further away or outside. You want to stay 4.1 inches away from a unit like that because I'm going to tap it. I'm not going to kill much there. He can stay over there, pile into that impulsor and just kind of keep my blade guard kind of neutralized. So that's on me. But if I can pick up half this squad, be a happy boy. Be back soon. Okay, we're back after the fight phase. Through all my fighting and everything, I killed 3 more bikes. So Samael, who's pretty good in combat, Redemptor, pretty good in combat, 2 units of bikes and a unit of Terminators killed 3 of those bikes. If I was to make a prediction, this bike unit, not so hot, that bike unit is sexy. I'm actually liking this unit. If I could have that unit in my army, oh, I'd be so happy. All right, gonna go into, so for points, I've gotten 4 points on Codex Warfare. And a bunch of no prisoners. Yeah.
Alrighty guys, we're talking score. So the end of my first turn, I got 4 points for behind enemy lines because of both those biker units pushed up nice and hard into Adam's deployment zone, but I got no long war and I raised 2 banners. So then at the start of my turn 2, I actually score a 12-point primary because Adam was on no objective markers and I was controlling 3. So that's a really strong turn for primary. And then I also obviously generate my 2 points for the banners that I had raised in the first turn. And also in that first turn, I did the strategic scan with the Rhino there, which is going to get me in another 3 sub-primary points. So it's actually a 15 points worth of primary in this first turn, which is a really, really strong start. But as you can see, I sort of broke on him like a wave on rocks. I failed to do any meaningful damage. So what I really need to do is make sure that I'm securing a couple really big turns worth of points early, and then hopefully Adam will struggle to claw them back. That's the sort of goal. As for this turn, we've got movement. The Morphine has moved and advanced up here. He's going to punch that Redemptor in the dick and hopefully
right
kill
in
him.
the Johnson.
Right in the Johnson. He's got his arm. He's ready to grab it. These bikes have fallen back, and then they're basically, because they're now a unit of 5, their coherency is a lot easier. So I've basically strung out to create a line to try to keep Adam oppressed, keep him boxed in his deployment zone. That's all that unit's designed to do. It's not designed to do damage. The Black Mace unit is. But the actual competitive viable choice is the Nurgle guys, and basically they're going to try and block him in. He's probably going to kill them all this turn. But
Why is
he's
that?
going to have to do it from within there.
That's because all the buffs are back here because they
Yes.
can't keep up with the bikes that are over there.
So the Master of Possessions, he has got decent range on his buffs, but that Dark Apostle is kind of a one-trick pony, you know? Like, he does his thing in the command phase, so it's really hard to keep those buffs consistent. So he's definitely something that I'll be cutting out of the list. He's not ideal. Either that, or I need to find a way to play with him way more aggressively so that he can get up in the field.
You could take out the other unit. We'll talk about it later. But
Yeah.
I think you could use a big unit of Chosen, big unit of Possessed, and have them as like your second or third wave after the Maulers, instead of the other big unit of Blacks.
Yeah.
And then you would just, like, you'd be in the same position you are now, but you'd have a brutally dominant like squad here instead of just 5 Possessed that I can just kind of
ignore. But also we've got the Lord Discordant. He's moved over into the corner here. These Possessed are maintaining their position, and basically what I'm hoping is that Adam's going to break my front line in his turn, but then I'm going to be primed in order to launch a counterattack in my next
You're
turn.
just trying to keep trying to break my primary again and again and again now, yeah?
And then I've still got the Rhino. He's positioned so that I can disembark onto any of the sort of objectives around here, just to make sure that Adam gets hopefully another turn of 0, maybe 4 primary, and hopefully I get another turn of 12, and we're just going to sort of keep going that way. This turn, the Lord Discordant has done the strategic scan on this objective here, so we will have scanned both of my backfield objectives. And yeah, it's not looking amazing, but I think I can scrape it into a small loss or potentially a draw. We'll see how we go. Alrighty, we had a real quick psychic phase. We basically just put the +1 toughness back on those bikes. Once again, warp marked. None of Adam's units are in range, so I can't do that. Although I was able to put the neg1 to be hit power on the guys as well. So they don't get the Trans Hitman this turn because they don't have the Dark Apostle, but they do get the -1 from the other Nurgle Psychic Power. And then we did no shooting because they fell back. Nothing else really has guns. So the Morphine went in here and he successfully punched that Redemptor right in the dick.
Almost killed it 2 times over.
Yeah.
What you got? Was it 6 attacks, 4 hits,
6 attacks,
4 wounds?
It was a total of like 19 or something.
Absolutely slaughtered. So that is where they are good.
I was hoping for an explode to maybe help like soften up some shit around here.
It would have gotten quite a few squads if it did explode.
But unfortunately, no explosion on that Dreadnought. So that's more or less my turn done. We'll see what Adam can do in response.
And we are back with end of my movement phase. So I'm just going to turn this Redemptor around for the sake of my sensibilities because it feels bad with him backing up into combat.
Yep, he's not twerking on a bike. He's
not showing my disdain. We just moved up a little bit with everything. I went long and hard, humming and hawing about whether to bring the Blade Guard out. The issue is the Blade Guard, these guys are toughness 6, and the Blade Guard, and -1 to wound. Blade Guard are strength 5. If they go into that unit, they could kill 1, they could kill none, and then they just get being by possessed, and there's no point in me bringing them. So keeping them in another turn. We're hoping that between the shooting from all these squads, pick up this or most of this. I've moved the Black Knights over. Everything that can't see is touching, and then Sammy's here to try and finish his Mauler Fiend. If the Mauler Fiend was to survive, it was actually hard to allocate enough to make sure it dies, and it still might not. If the Mauler Fiend survives, it's going to be a bad day. We've got the Eliminators moved over. I have dogpiled this objective because I couldn't get on that one naturally. I might be able to get it with some charges and some consolidate. But I need to guarantee some primary. Terminators are doing the strategic scan on this one, and it's got 2 units of bikers. The
Phobos Librarian
and two Terminators. I'm going to shoot and scoot these guys off to block it off. So there's no way for him to land without charging me. He does have Possessed. He does have Lord Disco. If he's going to use those to take me off that objective, I want him to have to do them both at the same time. So we can't do it turn 2, turn 3, etc., etc. So I'm trying to force the commitment now. We'll see if it happens. Back in the shooting phase.
So we got Black Knights shooting their Plasma Talons into a Mauler Fiend. I have spent 1 command point to make you -1 damage. However, you've spent 2 command points to get you +1 damage. So we're back to 2.
Back to damage 2. If I do kill you with these weapons, it will be a point on Codex Warfare. Let's go for the rerolls. See how greedy I want to be. Can't have that. Alive. Next one. Stop it.
Ooh,
missed.
Miss.
Good. Not too greedy yet. We'll see how the rest of the rolls go. Yep. And not. Yep. Nope. This is already enough.
You're rolling very, very well.
This is already more than enough. 3's to wound, and then they're Ren 4 down to Ren 3 for armor temp, but it's just going to be an invuln 2 damage. That is a very good roll. Holy crap! I'm making Black Knights feel good. So 2 damage each, and you've got, is it 12 or 13?
5 up, invulnerable save. We'll see what happens. So you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've done fucking 20 odd wounds, 30 wounds, so it's definitely fucking dead.
Yeah. You could have saved a few more.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, this would have been a reasonable amount of saves.
You were hogging all the 5s. So let's see if I explode.
Nope.
I do not. And for those who are wondering, the reason that Adam's rolling them 2 at a time is because if he rolls a 1, that model dies. So you don't want to roll all of your dice at once, because then if you roll 5 1s in there, you don't know whether multiple 1s came from the same bike or not.
Perfect example here. I just rolled 3 guys at once. There's 3 1s in there. Is that 2 guys dead? Or is that 3 guys dead? How do you resolve that? And then you have arguments with your opponent. So
it's important when you are doing those guys that you are rolling them 1 at a time.
Absolutely.
Just to clarify for you guys at home.
And
so that's a dead Mauler Fiend.
Yep. End of my turn scoring and wrap up. So all the charges, you saw what happened there. I only killed 1 bike. This bike unit is the bee's knees. I didn't get any obsec on this objective. That's why I needed to do this. I needed to dogpile, guarantee this. I did forget to tell you guys about my psychic phase where both powers went off against the possessed. So they are fighting last and they took a mortal wound. And then they are -1 to hit and -1 attack if they're in 6 of the Libby. And they took another mortal wound, so there's 1 guy and a wound left there. And then, I got 1 point on Codex Warfare for killing the Mauler Fiend with a assault or rapid fire weapon. And apart from that, I'm sitting pretty. That's about it. Couple more, no Christmas points is pretty much all I maybe got there. So over to Dean's top of 3. Top of 3.
Alrighty guys, desperate times call for desperate measures. So, I got a big turn of primary, I got my banners, I got behind enemy lines in my last turn. I've got no long war so far, but that's because I've been playing so aggressively and keeping Adam out of those primaries. So that's one of the things about long war is it's kind of like sometimes it's amazing in that I'm scoring it, but he's also scoring primary. And other times it's amazing because he's not scoring primary and I'm not scoring long war. So it's kind of, you know, swings and roundabouts. These possessed have then moved up. They were behind the wall here. They've advanced in through this gap here. And basically my plan there is they're going to charge these Terminators and use that charge move to get into Adam's deployment zone. And those remaining 3 bikes have moved into Adam's deployment zone as well. So that's going to get me my 4 points for behind enemy lines. And if I kill the Terminators, it'll also give me 1 point for long war. Yes. Finally. And then basically what we've done back here, I could have commit and gone all in with the Disco Lord and the Possessed into these bikes and tried to kill a bunch of stuff. The reason that I haven't is if I do that, I am sacrificing them to the Black Knights. And the last thing I want to do is just get tabled next turn. I want to try and keep something alive so that I can continue playing this game.
Some level of threat.
So yeah. Something that I can just keep going back and forth and maybe get some long war points later in the game when Adam sort of starts to overcommit and starts to put himself, you know, in a compromised position. So basically what I've done is I've just moved back so that I'm an inch off the wall so that the bikes and stuff can't charge through the wall. And then I made sure that I'm out of line of sight of the Black Knights. So there's not much Adam can do to damage this unit here. And then this Rhino has just moved back to where he was previously, just to try and make it so that Impulsor, the Blade Guard inside, if they want to disembark, they're going to need to roll a 9 on the dice. So that way, hopefully it can keep Adam not in my deployment zone and sort of fuck with his ability to score those behind enemy lines. So it's going to be interesting. I think I may have overcommitted early and sort of evaporated all my resources too fast. Maybe those Mauler Fiends should still be back here, and that way I could have been using them to threaten in later turns instead of just having them die. But yeah, pretty happy with that. We're going to roll the charge on those Possessed, roll that combat out, and we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, pretty fast turn there. So basically the Psychic Powers went on the Possessed. I put the +1 toughness on them, hopefully keep them alive a little bit longer. And then we had the fight here. The Possessed killed those Terminators, getting me 1 long war point. And then they've also still holding that objective whilst being simultaneously wholly within Adam's deployment zone. So I get my behind enemy lines, deny some primary. Beautiful thing is that Possessed counting as 2 models, he actually outnumbers that Impulsor, so that's cool. Little tidbit. Yeah, I'm about to get tabled, but I've got a pretty good score at the moment, so we'll see how we go.
All right, movement phase time. I've also done the psychic phase, so we'll recap that as well.
And your scores from last turn as well?
I got a 4 on primary, going into the top of the bottom of turn 3. Black Knight's got the buffs again from Sammy, have scooted all the way over here. I'm going to try and clear my deployment zone. Once I clear this deployment zone, I'm hoping that puts a stopper on Dean's behind enemy lines. But mind you, he's on 12 already, so he's probably pretty happy with that. Over here, we have gotten both the debuffs off on the Possessed. I've scooted the bikes around here to try and pressure the OBSEC, because these guys are OBSEC. Nothing else apart from the cultists is. They're good at killing cultists. I'm still in tactical doctrine. So I'm going to try and pick up as much of the cultists as I can and try and keep him honest on this objective. I have moved and advanced. Sorry, I've just moved over to here. I didn't have to advance through the forest, moving 12 inches. I'm starting the scan on this one. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to put Dean in a position where if he doesn't commit, I get a 12. And that's the plan there. And then you'll see the beautiful bit of play over here. The Impulsor finally doing a thing. It got to move and then disembark the Blade Guard to entirely take up all positions on this objective in the hopes of making his OBSEC, the remaining OBSEC. So now I'm trying to pressure the OBSEC to make all his OBSEC stay here. I'm going to use the shooting here and to try and pick up and do as much damage as I can to the cultists, and then tune to legionaries. Can't move the Rhino through, so they can disembark and get around here, but that means the OBSEC is staying here. It's not going in the middle, not going over there. So pressuring the objective play now, because that's where I am down. The secondaries are looking good. If I can pick this stuff up, I'll be a very happy boy. I've got the Redemptor and a few bikes and the Black Knights here, plus Sammy to add in addition, but they're fully buffed, and we've seen how many times I've swung and missed on these guys, so who knows? See you soon. Hello again, you saucy boys and girls. We're back. Some things went my way, some things didn't go my way. First thing that went my way, So this is the end of my turn, by the way. We did clear this stuff. Through the shooting of all the Black Knights and Sammy, we picked up the Possessed. Redemptor just charged and finished off the last of the Bikers there. Scans underway here. Little shots here. A couple wins, 3 wins done to the Rhino. This is going well. We didn't manage to finish off these cultists who will need a morale here. What is interesting is what has happened here. So I did get both my psychic debuffs off, as we saw, killed the Possessed and done a wound to another one. I shot here and I killed 5?
Yes.
Four or five, yeah.
4 by once.
If I make this charge now, there's no way for me to complete this charge unless I roll a stupidly big one that doesn't get heroic intervened by the Disco Lord and I die. So the only thing I could do from this position is not declare the charge. But it's okay, because it's going to contain and keep the threats here, and I've made plays that are successful on 4 other objectives. This was just, it was nice.
I mean, you could go for the gamble, and if you rolled like a boxcar's charge, you could go all the way around here and thus avoid the heroic intervention. But if you roll the, the 5 or 6 that you need,
to make this guy,
then you would have to make the move.
I have to go there, and then he just
expose yourself
straight in, and I get absolutely mauled. So I've chosen not to declare that charge. That was the only reasonable thing for me to do in that spot. I mean, every other objective is going my way, and we're hoping to get a big primary swing on from here on. And I've done enough here that he has to commit to here, has to commit here, has to commit here. There's a lot of things that Dean needs to do with only a few resources. So I'm hoping to put him in a position that he can't win, and we'll see what happens.
Alrighty guys, start of my turn 4. So sort of haven't got many tools to play with, but we're in a pretty strong position with the victory points. So what we've done is the Apostle, he put Illusory Supplication on the Master of Execution, Master of Possessions, just to try and make him a little bit more survivable. Master of Possessions put Mutated Invigoration on the Disco Lord, make him Toughness 8, so that hopefully he's a bit stronger, make him higher toughness. It might be Toughness 7 from 6. I'll double check that, but yeah. Just make him a bit tougher so he doesn't just get gaped by everything. And then with his other power, he put Warp marked on this unit here, because they have to die. Because basically what my game plan is, Disco Lord has moved out from around here, and he's going to try and kill these, which will get me a long war point. It'll deny Adam primary. It'll also deny his strategic scan. So that's a big swing. So even though the Disco Lord's likely to kill him anyway, I really want to overcommit into that and make sure that they fucking die. Then we've got these Possessed, the ones that were behind this wall. They've basically moved out, and the plan here is they're going to charge around, which will hopefully mean that I'll get all 4 of them on the objective. And because they're red Corsairs, that will count as having 8 models on the objective, which will mean that I'll take that one from Adam as well. So that'll hopefully push Adam back to a 4-point primary, because we've got over here the Rhino, Legionnaires, disembarked out, touching that with an OBSEC model. So I've taken that one. I'll hopefully take this one. I'll hopefully take this one, which will be a huge swing in terms of primary. And then hopefully if I get a big enough charge, it's very optimistic, but if I get a big enough charge with these Possessed, I'll also get my remaining behind enemy lines points, which will be pretty spicy as well. So that more or less sums it up for my movement and my psychic. So we're going to do a little bit of shooting and some combat, and we'll get back to you. I might actually shoot a gun for the first time in this fucking game with the Bale Flamer on the Disco Lord. So yeah, we'll be right back. Alrighty, charge phase is done and dusted. So the Disco Lord, he fired his Bale Flamer in and did 2 wounds to a bike, and then he made his charge successfully. And then over here, the Possessed, they rolled an 8 for their charge. So not quite enough to get me all the way in that deployment zone. I would have needed to roll like almost a 12. And even then, 1 Possessed would have had to have remained outside of the deployment zone in order to be engaged. So in order for that play to work, I would have needed a fucking huge charge, and then Adam would have needed to kill one of the Possessed, which is just asking way too much. But either way, I do still take that objective off Adam. So we're going to roll this Disco Lord out on camera and see if he can shred his way through 3 bikes. All right, here we have the Disco Lord into the Ravenwing Bikers. So he has 6 attacks on his profile, going in with his Zalva Wrathful Chainglaive. So he's going to be hitting you on 2s, which 2 fail. However, it is battle round whatever with exploding 6s.
Wonton burrito meal.
Mathematics of wonton burrito meals. I'll be there.
From the Wonton Burritos. Now he is strength 4 plus 2 for his things, going up strength 6.
With +1 to wound.
+1 to wound.
From the psychic power.
From the psychic power. And he also gets +1 to wound with this weapon anyway. Yeah. So either way, 2s.
And what's your rend at?
His rend is a massive AP 3.
So these are 5 ups. Need to make at least, what, I need to make 3 of these.
Yeah.
Kaput already, because they're 3 damage each, yeah?
Well, they are 2 plus D3.
All right, well,
so
then yeah.
It's minimum 3.
Job done, mate. Turns out.
He has a billion more attacks, but they are not needed in this instance. Alrighty, guys, we finally started killing some shit. Disco Lord goes in, fucking slaughters the shit out of some bikers. Possessed go in, slaughter these...
Eliminated
them. And that more or less rounds out my turn. So that gets me on my long war points for 3. I'm finally scoring some points there. It doesn't get me my behind enemy lines because these guys can't consolidate that way. They'd have to go this way. But I'm pretty happy with this position. I think it's going to be a really close game in the end. I think this is an interesting little swing. I'm going to get tabled, but I don't think Adam has the time needed to really catch up that score. So we'll see how it goes.
Right, guys, asking a fair bit of this turn. I need to shoot for the stars, but I've got a lot of units in order to do it. Movement phase, 4 rolls to hit, going off these guys. They need to kill this Disco Lord. I've got the Redemptor lined up to try and finish should they fail. A 2-up with Armor of Contempt is always a bit swingy. It's going to be 20 shots. Oh, sorry. Apothecary has to go here to res the one I lost last turn. Completely forgot about that. He was just here, would just scoot it around, can still do the shooting and charging thing here. Sammy's here to try and pick these guys up. Codex Warfare is in the combat phase, so killing these in combat, get a point. Bunch of stuff here in combat, here possibly in combat as well, 4 points. Got a Libby lined up to do a smite here, just to make life a little bit easier. Can also try and do some models here, reduce their attacks, etc, etc. Over here, Impulse has gone down the side to get 2 points on behind enemy lines, are guaranteed. These guys may need to charge off behind enemy lines to stop, because I want to give Dean a donut right now, guys. This is the plan.
You're going for the table, right?
Give Dean a 0 for the 0s he's given me, and then try and get a 12 win, and pretty much get the win on No Prisoners is essentially where it is. His No Prisoners has given up a lot of points to me. I've given up very few to him, so that's where I'm trying to win the game. And by that, I need to maximize the No Prisoners score. So this charge could be a bunch of different things. Should he need to shoot here and not pop this 5 wound Rhino, sorry, it's taken 6 damage, 4 wound Rhino, because I want to pop it, then this unit charges both OBSEC units, kills them off, with the Repulsor having killed off the last of the cultists. Should that still be alive, I am not going to charge it and risk an emergency disembark past me. They'll just pick up the character and possibly, well, they'll definitely pick up the Legionnaires and maybe the character as well, because I score at the bottom of turn, so Dean can't get out and deny my score without me having a say. So either way, totally fine. Over here, shooting, charging, clear this up. And yeah, if everything goes perfectly, Dean might have a Rhino or a character that's got out of a Rhino left. We'll see.
Never underestimate the humble Rhino.
The humble Rhino, boys. All right, got all my Black Knights going for that Disco Lord now. I have spent the 2 CP to go to damage 3, and Dean has spent to send me back to 1, so back to 2 again. So here we go, first guy. Oh, full greed. You can't kill this unit anymore, stuff it. So it's going well. Oh, full conversions, you love to see it. So what's that? It's
I
4.
don't love to see it.
I don't know what that is.
That's
a 6.
Yeah,
Fair
enough.
enough.
Old Legends of Lore dice.
Let's put that one instead. Full greed. Haha, no punish. No punish.
Can you fuck off, mate?
Fuck no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. There's 9. Still no punish. Last one. Just get
100% hits. Why not?
I missed with 1, brother. I missed with 1. It's fine. And 3's the wound because toughness 6 to toughness 7 does not change this math. 4 up invulns, 2 damage a pop, my brother. And I did smite you down to 7.
Correct. He is, as we say in the biz, fucked.
All right, here we are at the end of the Psychic and shooting phase. So Psychic, I just, I put Righteous Repugnance in this unit. If they needed to charge into the Disco, they already have rerolls hit, but they have rerolls to wound. Didn't matter, like sure, I shot him dead. Also smited 2 wounds off as well. I just wanted to get 1 off, so that you had to fail 4 instead of 5 4 ups in order to die. So it's just taking me below a breakpoint. Shooting here went perfectly, and I picked up all 6.
Yep, right on the nose.
Pistols here picked up the four cultists there, getting me another point on Codex Warfare. which I've denied a point here without having the charge, but hoping to pick up one here. We have killed one possessed, left one on one remaining through Sammy's shooting and the apothecary. We did pop the rhino, and Dean spent a CP to heroic disembark, because if they were there, of course, I'd be going after them hard with the blade guard. So now he has a unit left for the end of the game. As it sits right now, blade guard are going to charge, probably not even go for the master of possession. I don't think it matters. We're going to try and wall off this objective, pick up the obsec, and happy days. And here, between Sammy and the Terminators, we should be able to pick those up, consolidate our position, guarantee a 12. I am getting an 8 on behind enemy lines. Nothing Dean can do about it, but best I'm going to do on that so I'm getting a 4 right now. Best I'm going to do is an 8. But no prisoners, once again, is going to pay a lot of dividends at the end of this game. Plus, hoping to pick up that juicy 12. See you soon at the end of the fight phase.
Yep, we'll go into your turn. We'll do the fight. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I'm going to predict fucking dead. Fucking dead. I actually think you're going to be generous and you're going to let me keep these guys alive.
I don't think I can make that charge.
You're playing with your food, mate.
The only thing I could do is try and charge it with the impulsor, but that means you just get a 3-inch consolidating pile-in, so it doesn't actually benefit me. It just makes things easier for you. So,
cool. All right, let's jump into the combats. All right, guys, my ever so bold prediction was wrong. Tell me where it all went wrong, Adam.
He's got a wound left. He's the one guy with 1 wound left. And he's going to fall back and get you 2 points of behind enemy lines. Yep. And it's going to be a good day. I don't know, he's lost 3 guys this turn. I don't know if he can fail morale. Assuming he's your sergeant, he's probably 8. Maybe he can fail on a 6. Who cares? Job's done there. Job's done over there. I've everything I wanted to happen except for that guy living. So he's going to get it's a 2-point swing, which is a little unfortunate. But here's what it is, guys. We'll see if it happens. See if it matters. See at the top of 5.
Guys, we've just gone to the start of my turn, and I've gone to fall back with this possessed that survived to try to get into the deployment zone for behind enemy lines. And then Adam had a brilliant revelation.
He's got 1 wound left. There is a core rulebook stratagem that gets very rarely remembered. It's called cut them down. Verbatim, it's 1 CP, which I gained at the start of this turn, because I was down to 0, now I'm up to 1. He's going to fall back. I can spend a CP, and for every model that's in engagement range of it, can try and roll a dice. And on a 6, they take a mortal wound. I got 3 guys in engagement range, because obviously I saw this in.
So he's got 3 dice.
It's funny. It's good for the stream.
If any of them are a 6,
he's dead.
I think it's just strategically, it's a good move.
It's the only thing I can think of using this CP for that's going to.
You're going to big dick it and roll them one at a time.
Absolutely, I fucking am. Ben, get out of here.
First
Get the
one.
fuck out of here. Get out of here. Second one. Yeah, it would have been funny. But first one, gotcha.
Still, it's one of those things where people are like, oh, you're going to do like maybe 1 mortal wound. When is it ever going to matter?
But when it's a 2-point swing,
it matters exactly.
Absolutely matters.
It matters exactly right now.
100%. I think I've used that. That's the second time I've used that strat this edition.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen it used.
A moment in time, right there.
Alright guys, recapping my turn 5, as you saw the possessed, he tried to make a dash for that behind enemy lines, but he was cut down on the way. Then we had the Legionnaires, the characters, jumping in to try to do some damage to those Blade Guard. Managed to kill a couple, but then on the back swing, Adam killed all of my Legionnaires. So the only models I have left on the table right now are my Dark Apostle and my Master of Possessions. So Adam's about to take his 5th turn, but we're more or less going to call it here because there's going to be no more dice needed to be rolled in order to work out the scores. So we'll work those out and we'll hit you guys with a game summary in a moment. Alrighty lads, I hope you enjoyed that game as much as I did. I know Adam had a fucking shit hot time.
Good time.
Recapping the scores, it was a 66 to the Red Corsairs and a 68 to Adam. So he is officially the world's greatest heretic.
Don't forget your cut down, people. Yeah. We figured it out, yeah. Had the cut down not killed that master possession, it was a dead draw. Yeah. 68-68.
Because had I got those behind enemy line points, it would have been
68, no bullshit either. It's straight up 68-68. Absolutely ridiculous. I ended up getting my 2 last strategic scans at the end of the game. Yep. What was it? I got 8 on behind enemy lines. I got 9 on Codex Warfare. Whatever you get.
12, I think it was,
no
prisoners. So yeah.
Yeah, and you got 12 on behind enemy lines.
Yep.
Power of going first and behind enemy lines.
Big behind enemy lines points. Yep. I got.
What about 9 on banners? Was it 7?
No, it was something like that. 7 or 8 on banners. The one that hurt me was the long war. And interestingly, this isn't something that I'd sort of expected, but given that my army goes so hard and blocks you in your deployment zone, it actually prevents you from getting on the objectives, which prevents me from being able to get long war. So it's actually a really interesting sort of situation there. I also think that my army just didn't have the hitting power to take out your dangerous elements, which meant, sure, I can go in and slow him right down.
Which you did, absolutely.
Which worked perfectly, and it's what kept me alive for as long as it did.
I didn't leave my deployment zone. Well, I didn't cross the halfway point of the game until turn 4.
Yeah.
Turn 4, I put a unit there. That was the halfway point of the game,
But had I been able to go, maybe, for example, instead of me with the black mace unit, instead of splitting, I should have just gone all in on the bikes, and try to remove your fast elements so that I could keep you,
Because you saw what happened. You put the 2 bike squads into, you put it into bikes and into 2 of the Terminators. Did diddly squat to the Terminators. That, by the way, that Nurgle unit, 100%, that's the money. That is the money. And not because it's going to do any damage, but man, it gummed me up like crazy. Yeah. It took me 3 turns to kill, was it 3 turns or 4 turns?
4. I think it died on turn 4.
A huge amount of turns to kill and resources.
What was the highlight for you? What was your
it was the freaking cut down. Cut down. Second time this edition, and it paid out. It got me the win. It was like a clutch cut down off like just remembering, he's got 1 wound left. Hey, wait a minute, there's a thing. There's a thing we can do, right? There's a thing in the core rulebook.
Well, I think a lot of 40k comes down to that, right? It's those moments when you remember something that everybody else forgets.
Yes.
The ability to store those things and recall that memory, that's one of the things that wins games.
And no gotcha there. Like, who the crap remembers that, let alone is in a position for it to freaking matter.
Yeah, and it'd be relevant in that it's like 1 wound.
Yeah, and how do you not set yourself up for that? Like, just make a better save, because you had a 6-up. You had a 6-up armor because of the rend on Samael's weapon. You had to make 6-up armor saves. So you're not going to CP a failed 6 to try and stop a cut down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not a thing you're going to do. I love the double OBSEC Legionnaires in the Rhino.
Yeah, I probably should have played them a little bit more aggressively, perhaps.
Put that here, turn 1, possibly, or turn 2. Mind you, this, in a different terrain system, when you've got one of those in the middle, that Rhino is just points in the bank. It's so potent.
I think what I'll probably be doing for this list is taking that corn unit of bikes and just fucking that right off and putting in a few more Rhinos with Legionnaires.
Yeah.
Maybe swap the Cultists for more Legionnaires and use them as my mandatory troops, and perhaps some more bigger units of Possessed or Chosen or something that can actually hit hard.
Hear me out for a sec. 2 Rhinos, same unit Legionnaires, but each Rhino has 5 Legionnaires, 5 Killy Chosen in it.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
And bada bing, bada boom. The double, because the Cultists get double as well, yeah?
No.
That's right.
They
the
do
Cultists
not get Legion traits.
So I think 1 unit of Cultists, maybe 3 units of 3 inch Legionnaires, 1 not in a Rhino, 2 in Rhinos. But yeah, the second unit of bikes just it came in, did 2 wounds to a Terminator, no wounds to a 2 wounds to a biker.
Yeah,
didn't even kill a biker.
The Mauler Fiends were also garbage. Like, I put them in there because one of my patrons is trying to figure out a way to make Mauler Fiends work, and this was the best idea I could come up with. The idea was distract them with the bikes, which means that they're not shooting your Mauler Fiends and blowing them up because they're quite squishy, and that also gives them time to move up and advance and charge. But it just doesn't work. I was really worried about this game. I think this mission was for and against me. It was for you in the fact that it was a hammer and anvil mission with no objectives in my deployment zone. Yeah. So there's no, because if the other hammer and anvil have one in my, I just put everything on that, so you can't put any models on it. That's essentially what I do there. You don't have shooting, so you have to charge it. And then I wouldn't have been able to hold you to the 0. The zeros, exactly right. But it goes in for my favor that I can distance out everything bar the bikes. So you choose to either throw the bikes away hoping they do enough and then don't really have a response force, or you have to hold back and not use why you red Corsairs. Yeah. So this was for and against me. Yeah, so I don't know in hindsight what would be different if we did a Dawn of War. I get around you a lot easier with your big bike unit, the big Nurgle bike unit, but at the same time, it's just a lot different. Yeah, no, I think it was good. Let us know what you think. Chuck some comments below. Let's get a conversation going about the lists, about the game, that sort of shit. Make sure you check out Adam. Tell them where you can find you. Art of War Down Under is primarily a review podcast that comes out Tuesday mornings Eastern Standard Time, 5 a.m. 2-part podcast. First part, lovingly
curated by myself and Seamus Ronan with whatever experts we can find on the topic matter. You know, I just did some Votan reviews with Mr. Richard Siegler. We're going to have the Guard Codex reviews coming up pretty soon. Get excited about that. And then we just do some meta talks and talk about upcoming things, review the data slates, etc. Come and join us. Art of War Down Under over on Patreon or the artofwar40k.com for the for the website to get into the back end there. Enjoy the beautiful war room. In addition, you can follow me on the Thursday show on the Frontline Gaming Network, or you can find me on Forge the Narrative with the wonderful Paul Murphy, Tanya Gates, and Red Powell. Please join me there. Enjoy some of the other whimsical and wacky craps that I do.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Awkward fist bump. Yeah.
Look for the Blood God.
The Warhammer community suffers from some of the most prohibitively expensive essentials in the world, especially Australian content creators. Every single day, Dean wants to create content, but he can't. Suffering from old, worn-out brushes, expensive model kits, and costly software and equipment he can't endure much longer. Just look at this dirty paint water. Would you drink this? Would you let your child? Even a small monthly donation can help provide Dean with clean paint water, basic tools for survival, and access to life-saving information and education. So please, follow the links in the description below and find out how you can sponsor a mad cunt like Dean today and end the suffering. Suffering that is cruel, unsustainable, and your fault.
Do your objective markers ever get lost behind terrain or other models and become difficult to see? Do they ever get bumped and accidentally moved during a game? And do they ever spark arguments about distances? Well, not anymore. Introducing the blog for the Blood God, not even remotely patented Neoprene Objective Markers. Made from the same material as astronaut suits, or maybe military equipment, or probably neither of those things, this 2mm thick neoprene synthetic rubber is tear resistant, water resistant, and is designed to last. But that's not all. The blog for the Blood God, not even remotely patented neoprene objective markers come in a variety of different designs and styles to suit any faction represented in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. These objective markers are a perfect gift for yourself or a friend, and are a perfect way to flex and show your opponent that not only are you a smarter, cooler, and better 40k player than them, but you also have more disposable income than they do. For the low price of $25, you'll get not one, not two, but 6 neoprene objective markers, perfectly designed for 9th edition Warhammer 40k. But wait, there's more. For a limited time only, people who sign up on Patreon to support Blog for the Blood God as a Skull Champion tier $5 per month member will gain access to a custom design service where I will design a unique logo to support their gaming club, like the one I did to the left here for the Potato Farmers local gaming club here in Melbourne. Follow the links in the description of this video to pick up your set today.